everyone. Am I audible?
Yes, ma'am, you are audible.
Okay. As I can see, all have joined in. I can start the session.
Good evening, ma'am. Yes, ma'am, you can start.
Okay. Thank you so much. Okay, so who all have joined in? I think most of you have joined in, so I'm starting the session. A very good afternoon to one and all present here, and welcome to the session on promoting mental health in school. See, promoting mental health is one of the main essential event nowadays. You see, every individual, rather it's a teacher or it's a student, all are going through some sort of a stress. And schools are at the place, they are institution where we need to promote mental health because that is the need of the hour. Now, okay. Now you see, a school's mental health promotion program should focus on creating a supportive environment, providing mental health education and offering resource for students who need them. Now, student and teacher, they have a relationship and it is an age-long relationship. Students, they have the confidence in their teacher. A community of trust is developed within the domain of the classroom. But sometimes, children, they are suffering through excessive stress. So they need a supporting environment, an environment where the student can speak their mind out. And as teachers, as facilitators, we should be there to render a helping hand. See, sometimes when you just lend your ears, you hear to their problem, that there also, you do a great help for the children. Because, if the students are not allowed to speak out and if the teachers are not there to support them, that mental health gets ruined then and there. Now, you see, what is actually mental health? Nowadays, this word mental health is very, very important. And, every session, there's a mandatory session for 10 minutes where the RPs are, they are asked to speak for 10 minutes on this mental health. Why is this mental health so important? Because see, it refers to the cognitive, behavioral, emotional well-being, about how people think, feel and behave. It is referred to the capacity of the individual, a group and an environment to interact with one another in the way that promotes a feeling of well-being. See the last line, the feeling of well-being, the feeling of wellness, that is more required. See, when you create, in schools, what are we doing? We are actually nurturing and culturing the children and making them ready for the future citizenship. Now, as an individual citizenship, they should be developed normal, responsible, that way. But when the mental health is not good, when the mental health is not sustainable, the child cannot handle his own reactions, the child cannot handle his own stress, the child cannot control his emotion. We are, where are we leaning to? The academic excellence is something that every school is fighting for, but once the mental health is disturbed, children will not be able to study. Schools are supposed to be anger free zones. Many schools, we have the placard written that this is an anger free zone. So when the anger free zone is there, that means you should not be angry, right? But how many of us can control our emotion? Sometimes, knowingly or unknowingly, as teachers, we say something that might be offensive or heartbreaking for the child. Very hard to bear that. So to overcome the child should have certain resilience to overcome the mental stress. That is the reason. Because if the environment is happy, then only the teachers will be able to teach and the child will be able to learn. That's the thing. Now, see, WHO, according to WHO, mental health is a state of well-being in which individual realizes his or her own ability and cope with the normal stresses of life, can work productively, fruitfully, and is able to make a contribution to his or her community. See, everyone is responsible to make certain amount of contribution in whichever way they can. Right. And anything that causes stress is termed as a stressor. Stressors might be anything. Sometimes the subject itself is a stressor for the child. Yes, do you agree it or not? If you say yes, I will know that you are listening to me and you are there. Sometimes the subject itself can be a stressor for the child. Yes. Okay. 1, 2, 3. Okay. That means yes. So sometimes counseling is required. Sometimes counseling is required. For example, you find this subject stress when the child is in class 11. What happens, by the time class 10, they have got some, normal subjects. And nowadays they have that flexible basic mathematics and standard mathematics so that some amount of stress can be taken out from it. But stress is inevitable. You never know where the stress is waiting. But we have to make our child such an, they have to develop the ability of resilience to overcome the stress and how they can become normal. And as teachers, as facilitators, again, we have to identify the particular individual who is suffering through stress, who is not coping with a normal day-to-day life. It is very difficult. Sometimes, we never know. I'll come to that in the later part. But that productivity is not there. Now you see mental health awareness. That is the much need of the hour. Mental health awareness means that we are not only acknowledging that mental health is important. Yes, how many of you think that mental health is important? Let me see. Again, I want an yes if you agree and no if you don't agree. But we are talking about it out there so that people who feel too much can get the help. See, all children are not alike. Yes. Because like the digits of your hand, as the fingers are not alike, we have in a class of 40 children, you have a segregated emotional level in the children, isn't it? But some children are very touchy emotionally. See, if you say something, even if you raise your voice, they take it in a very serious. Yes, definitely. That means educating people on what mental illness means is actually the mental health awareness, and it is how to prevent it, and we have to remove the stigma from it. The importance of mental health, you see, mental illness is something that is completely different from the topic that we are taking here. We are taking children who are a bit disturbed, children who needs the help, but mental illness affects 90% of the adult population. Okay, 40%, 46% of the teenagers and 13% of the children every year. The national survey reveals that 15% of Indian adults needs active intervention from one or more mental health issues, and 1 in 20 Indians suffer from depression. Now, sometimes in the PTM, you see some parents come. Okay. Now, when they come to the school, they bring with them useless aggressions and complaints. Now, this is some of the sign, of mental health, because the person who comes with that aggression and the person who have that fighting tendency will transmit that tendency to the children of his houses, of his home. So when that particular child coming from that disturbed background will be dissipating what they are nurtured in. So the components of mental health here is, see, knowledge of how to seek mental health information. That is very important. Now, the attitude. See, you have the attitude to mold yourself and always a flexible attitude to change and to help changing others. So, attitude that facilitate recognition and help seeking. You should know that where is the time that the help should be rendered. Then knowledge and belief about professional help. Professional help, see, I will come to that in the later part. See, every school has got a professional counselor. Like subject teachers, every school is nearly having a counselor. So when to seek the help of the counselor, you should be knowing that. Now, knowledge and belief about the causes. Now, ability to recognize psychological distress. Now, what is the distress signals? Children will be showing out the sign where the distress signals are there, right? So that is also very, very important. Now, you see, when the children are very much stressed, the suicide rate among the children gets elevated. Now, National Crime Record Bureau, see, it is 10,159 students that died in the year 2018 alone. Yes, and all were adolescent, that school leaving age group. Now you see, there's a case-based thing here. See, a 15-year-old class 10 in Western Assam, Chirang district allegedly suicided on Tuesday morning after he failed to attend the online class examination, and in the absence of a smartphone. Only because she never had a smartphone, she couldn't attend the exam. The minor boy allegedly commits suicide, and he hanged himself from a tree near his house. In the date is June 23rd, 2020. See, a simple thing. The smartphone was not available. He couldn't attend. He couldn't attend that online examination. That was many exams, they give online thing. Sometimes they provide the computer system for that. But I don't know what was the problem that child faced, but he ended his life. Very pathetic, isn't it? Now you see, West Jorhat, Assam, one girl committed suicide. She hanged herself with a drape used for salwar kurta. The cause of the death was her high school living certificate, or HSC. That what we call as a 10th board. And she had received first division with letter marks in four subjects. Fearing a 3-year ban after being expelled for cheating during class 10 board examination, a girl student from Assam Baprita district had committed suicide by consuming pesticides. You see, there are number of examples, number of cases where children choose to die. That is absolutely not good. Two common mental health problems issues are there. One is anxiety disorder, the fear. Sometimes, the exam fear, the fear of failure, fear of not coming to the top. There are so many things the children face. More than 18% of the adults every year, every year, some type of anxiety disorder, post tantrum disorder, PTSD, obsessive compulsive disorders, panic attacks, generalized anxiety disorders, and specific phobias. Now, sometimes I have seen children, especially before the maths examination, or especially during the board examination, the children tend to vomit. That vomiting tendency is not because of any sort of a physical ailment. It is only because of the panic attack. What am I going to do? Sometimes children have the stage phobia also. You ask them to speak on some topic on the stage, they'll shiver. Then mood disorder, that depression and bipolar depression affects nearly 10% of the adult every year, and are characterized by difficulties in regulating one's mood. Now, sometimes, you see children, especially, see, whenever we talk of mood swings and like that, we definitely talk about the adolescent, because this is, see, smaller kids, when they are in the primary, pre-primary, and till class 5th standard, you can make them understand. If you scold somebody, they may cry, okay, for their naughtiness, but if you console them and if you call them to yourself, you can change the mood. Nothing matters to them. Even if they fight, nothing matters to them. They make their own way of compromising and making friendship again. But when it comes to an adolescent, things becomes much complicated. uh, Recently, there was so many events conducted in our school. So in that, one girl, she was not chosen for that particular event. So the tantrum she was showing, she cried whole day, sitting at the back of the class, never ate any tiffin, nothing. So what are these? What are all this? Because these are something that can be taken care if mental health issues are to be taken. Now, report an accidental death. See, that is also very much, these are heartbreaking things. So I will not go on to that accidental death and consequences of it. Now here, consequences of student mental health issues. Now, as per data, that suicide prevention sources center. So there are some important consequences for student if mental health issues are there. See, the ultimate is that they'll commit suicide, but we can prevent the child from doing that. Mental health problem can affect many areas in life, reducing their quality of life. See, sometimes you see children, they are, they take substance of abuse or something like that, they are taking, and they are not attentive in the class. So again, the academic achievement, the physical health, this is all that is, they are creating a negative impacting relationship with friends, families, members. These issues can also have a long-term consequences for students, affecting their future employment. The earning potential is the post-school one, but the studying potential is also goes down. The overall health, many college students report that mental health difficulties interfere with their studies. Yes. So mainly, what are the following things that are to be taken? See, stress, anxiety, sleep difficulties, and depression. Now, what are the initiatives? See, here I'm talking of the initiative that is taken by WHO, World Health Organization, and this was taken post-COVID. Now, what was the thing? The first in the primary is the facilitators and the parents should provide a support system. Children need adults' love and affection, attention during the difficult times. Give them extra time and attention. Now, those of us who are busy with the curriculum, we have very little time for extra things. But first thing comes first. If you can cite out all these distress signals, can anybody tell me any one distress signal that can be spotted in a child who is suffering from mental health issues or any sort of distraction? Name one features, identifying features. Please, you can use the chat box. Bedwetting. Okay, bedwetting is something that is not happening in the school, but in school, lack of concentration. Yes. Yes. Absent-mindedness, lack of concentration. Anything else? Uh-huh. Anything else? Anything? No, I'm not getting a proper answer from your side. How you are going to identify? See, identifying and isolating a child with a problem, it is very difficult. Yes. Less confidence. Yes. Now you will be seeing that there are certain withdrawal syndrome. Withdrawal syndrome means the child will withdraw himself from all the activities going on in the class. The child wants to be isolated. Yes. So you see National Institute of Mental and Neurosciences here. So there are certain, what do they do? They need counseling wherever you need a support. So, this Indian government, okay, very aggressive, yes. that is there. So how you are going to cope with them? See, you are going to engage them whenever possible in indoor activities, then make routine learning at their home. So you have to make a surveillance, and this all came into existence, post COVID. Many children have suffered great losses during the COVID, so putting them back to the normal stream was a great difficult task for them. But one thing here that I want to share with you, the manual, the mental health manual, that was yes. Now the mental health manual, this is the manual that is circulated by Ayushman Bharat. This entire manual, you can download it. So the thing is an initiative of Ministry of Human Resource Development, the government of India, 21st July 2020, and it is named as Mano Darpan. Now this handbook of Mano Darpan is very, very, essential, and it is a key source of information for all the educators and all the facilitators who are dealing and who all are facing these issues in the classroom. And see, even if you are not facing any issue till now, that does not mean that you will not face any. So it is something that has to be seen for them. See, as per that definition, what is health? Health is referred to a state of physical, social, mental, and emotional well-being, and not merely a state of absence of illness or diseases. We know it is as per the definition. Now, what is mental health? Mental health here is a state of well-being when a person is able to cope with stress of daily life. See, everyday life, see, for a small kindergarten child, getting up from sleep and coming to school, okay, and attending classes and attending the classes for the full day itself is a very stressful thing. Because that circadian cycle, the biological cycle, what you call it, that sleeping and waking up, that time initially it is very difficult to handle for a small child. And that feeding habit while preschool and when they are coming to school, those habits, to inculcate those habits, it's a very stressful thing. So how the child cope is also stress for them. It is not only the adolescent who is coping with stress. Even a small kindergarten child is facing stress, and continue to be productive and be able to contribute to his community. If mental well-being is impacted, it impacts all the other aspect of health, physical and social and emotional. Now you see, the kindergarten child comes to school and he is crying. He does not want to sit in the class. Now, how will you cope with that? It is definitely a state of, he is not well. The health issues are there. He does not eat. He cries and cries. So obviously something is disturbing him. So there, that mental health issues and counseling and comforting, and you have to know the root cause of his denial of attending the class. That is to be there. So there the teacher can find out the root cause. Instead of scolding or sometimes pampering the child, at least we can console the child, and we should know what is the root cause of his activity. Now, what is physical health? When a person is free from illness, injuries, and aware of the follow physical fitness rules and nutritious diet, hygiene habit, that means he is a healthy person, lack of diseases. But a physically healthy person can be mentally ill also. If he is having that emotional imbalancement, he does not talk to anybody, he lives isolated life. So social health, the ability to interact well with other persons, society, contributes to the society. See, collaboration. Children, peer, I would rather say, if they are collaborating with each other, peer help, peer association, it can work magical. But somebody, sometimes children suffering with ASD, autism spectrum disorder, they want to be isolated, and they cannot, no matter what, how you mix them up, they will not mix with any other, because that is innate. The inner illness, the inner disorder. So that is something where medical interventions are required. There, the counselor or anybody, they cannot help. You need a medical expert to handle these cases. And ASD, if it goes to the 4th level, you cannot handle them in the open classroom. That is inclusiveness. And it's, it is not a normal classroom. You need experts to handle these. A normal teacher cannot handle all these areas. And emotional health, the ability to control, manage, and express emotional. See, child is a child, children aggression, fighting, that attention seeker and all that. So that is there. Now, what is capable of reducing community health and well-being? See, school has got an outstretch program, community outreach. So what are the thing, violence, something happens, natural disasters, pandemic. These are some of the issues, there you need to handle. Then displacement. Now, what is displacement? Sometimes schools infrastructure is being renovated or something like that, and small children, their classroom shifts. Now, have you seen adjustment problem in children? As teachers, we do not show any such differences, because all the entire school is any room, we have to cope with it. We have very less choices. But sometimes, this displacement also causes emotional instability in children. They may not like that particular room because children are fussy. Sometimes, when parents are transferred, children have to take admission in new school. They lose their friend, they miss their old areas. That time also, that displacement also takes a very great toll in the emotional health. Work stress. Who does not have a work stress? Can anybody type yes for this one? Work stress. Is there anybody who has no work stress? I have. So I have, and many facilitators like me have the work stress. Yes, we have to cater to the syllabus. Yes. Okay. This yes for work stress, everyone has that. Everyone. Yes. Yes. I got your answer. Thank you so much for the interaction. Now you see, work stress is there, but we have to have the resilience. Now just see, as teachers, we have certain deadlines. Okay. So this is the date, and within this deadline, you have to completely, give the question papers, that deadline, or the results. This is a particular deadline, or some event has to be organized. Those deadline, those are stress. But every stress is not bad. If you are working in that stress, and if you have the resilience to overcome it, what you do is you excel. It takes out the best out of it. Now, sometimes, this working stress, you can avoid that. How can you avoid this working stress? By doing mindful activity. For example, if you are fond of music, if you are fond of traveling, if you are fond of exercises, daily routine. So if you are following that, work stress can be controlled to many extent, because work, you have to work, and you have to take the stress. So the escape route is do some mindful activity that will be refreshing for you. Yes, by proper planning. Absolutely. Now, sometimes, poor housing condition, the child who is coming from that poor housing condition, something must be disturbing. Maybe that poverty itself is a big menace that is there. Social exclusion. Now, there are certain societies, certain people in the society who are dejected by the other society members. Isolation, indiscrimination, that is also creates a conflict. Now, conflict within the family, that is a very, very important nowadays. As that joint family system is not there, children are coming from nuclear families. So that nuclear family, when the children are coming, yes, engaged to any work. Yes. Now see, conflict within the family and the community, that is a very disturbing thing. If the children are coming from disturbed parents, they see the conflict, single parenting, these are something, that has to be handled with much care and precision. Injustice and indiscrimination, poverty, these are also some of the things that I've already discussed. Now here is the genesis of Manodarpan. Now here, see, this is when we talk of pandemic. If something outbreaks, then lockdown. We don't want any, but imagine the time when that lockdown was there. There was uncertainty everywhere. So how do you cope up with it? Mental health issues. When the mental health issues, how do we do that? See, social media requests received in the ministry about the mental health issues. This all started after the post COVID. See, I'm dealing with the era that 2020, where the COVID was in full peak and finally it is there. So that was the time when Ayushman Bharat came into, came up with all this. Now, holistic development means besides academic concern, emotional and social aspects of learning is also affected. Now, what is vulnerable? Now, vulnerability is children and adolescents. Children and adolescents are more disposed to stress, anxiety, fear, and loneliness. See, this loneliness, anxiety are the two main thing, and the fear. Changing time, challenging time. Yes, there are so many challenges, various stress factors leading to stressful time for all, including students and family. It is very difficult to handle stress. Now, stress factors. What are the stress factors? See, I'm dealing with pandemic, but it is, if you just delete the pandemic part, these are the thing that is persistent in the society. Exam results, fear of a disease, behavioral issue in the family, death in the family, family income, employment fear, cut off in games playtime, sense of isolation, difficulties in learning, and changes in teaching and learning. This all affects. Now you see, these are the number impacted. Now, children taking up higher education, you see 3.75 crores of students, they are affected by mental health. Children 9 to 12, 6.3 crore students. Classes 6 to 8, 6.4 crore students. And classes 1 to 5, it's nearly 12 crores. So the things are. Now here you see Honorable HRM emphasize on the need to provide psychological support. Now, can anybody tell me what do you mean by psychological support? How do you provide a psychological support? See, working groups were there, MHRD, to monitor and promote. See, these were organizations, those who were monitoring mental health and well-being of the student and to provide psychological support. So how do you provide a psychological support to your school child? Motivational support, excellent. Anything else? Motivation, anything else that to understand the mental, see, understanding, motivate, yes, because yes, the primary thing, you have to understand the child and understand and identify moral support, excellent. Yes, by talking to them. Yes, the more you give time for talking, the more you give the time of expressing. The child needs to express. Then only you will be able to go to the root cause, the interaction. That is more important. Now, consultation with experts and stakeholders. Now, can anybody tell me who all are stakeholders? Stakeholders. What do you mean by stakeholders? Stakeholders is? What do you mean by stakeholders? Counselors. Okay, counselors are stakeholders. Counseling. But the stakeholder is anybody within the domain of a school is a stakeholder. See, if something happens in the playground, okay, whichever peon or fourth grade staff was there, he can be also a stakeholder. That means stakeholder means a person who can be accountable. Teachers, management, parents, excellent. And even the fourth grade staff can also be included as a stakeholder, because people who are accountable for any activity within the domain of the school is called a stakeholder. So what happens, experts and experts from different field, counseling, the mental health condition, the adolescent children, and the members of the working group, they have got a wide consultation with stakeholders here. Everybody is accountable. See, something happens in the bus. So there the stakeholder is the bus driver and the bus conductor who was there. Something happens, sometimes, why do we need this Manodarpan? Why the mental health? Yes, bus conductor, definitely. Why do we need that? Because we need for a better tomorrow. Now, sometimes, it's a strong linkage needed between the education and physical health and moral health. See here, the facilitators, colleges, uh, place for promoting mental health and physical. See, then ICMR report of 2017, it shows that 10 to 13% of children and adults in India are dealing with mental health concern. That is there. See, counselors at school, CBSE affiliated schools, they have a mandatory counselors in the school, and counselor is very essential even for the residential schools also. Their college also counselors are required. But sometimes, our children, sometimes we have we have child abuse cases, right? Have you heard of Project Kaka, CACA? Can anybody tell me, whoever knows the full form of Kaka, CACA? Yes, you can use the chat box for that. Project Kaka. Yes, can anybody tell me what do you mean by Project Kaka? Have you heard of it or not? See, child abuse cases is becoming very, very, common nowadays. Now, why am I telling that child abuse? See, sometimes, children are so timid, children are so gentle that they cannot even tell what has happened to them. Yes. So what is Project Kaka? See, there's a Project Kaka. Even teachers can also do the counseling. Yes, teachers can definitely do the counseling, but the teacher should be trained. Teachers should know how to do the, yes, child against child abuse. So here is also, again, it is a project that was taken by the government of India, and as well as CBSE has performed so many, training sessions on Project Kaka. So why do we need this sort of a thing? Because things that is happening is not good. So how do you cope with it? See here, the counselor, why do we need trained counselors? See, teachers can do the counseling, definitely fine, but we need trained counselors, because counselors who do that, they are trained and academically they are qualified to do the thing. Okay, now identify the psychological cause, psychological stressors. That is very important. That what is the problem, the problematic issues, that has to be there. Now, see, important to identify the concern of student, such as loneliness, isolation, stress, anxiety, peer pressure, parental, social, then social expectation. Sometimes, as parents also, that too much expectations can cause stress in the child. See, body imaging, again, this is an adolescent issues. When they come to the higher classes, what do they think? Such and such is more attractive, such and such is more muscular, somebody is so beautiful and I am not that. So that is also, again, that identity crisis because of the body imaging, body shape. I am becoming fat. Why am I becoming fat? Sometimes there are genetic causes when the student turns up to be fat. That's another, medical issues are there, but they find it. Yes. So self-doubt, etc. Sometimes they doubt, they can do it, but I cannot do it. Oh my God, I'm an hopeless person. So these are some of the things, that only you as, facilitators, as teachers, you can do that. Right. See, Atmanirbhar Bharat Abhiyan. It was taken by, see, Mano Darpan is a part of the Prime Minister's Atmanirbhar Bharat Abhiyan, a stimulus package to revitalize Indian economy, including empowering human capital and increasing productivity efficiency post COVID-19 outbreak. So after that, this, that Mano Darpan and Atmanirbhar Bharat, that these all came into existence. Now, announcement again that Atmanirbhar was also announced by the finance minister. The components of Manodarpan. How do you help a child groom mentally healthy? So there are so many things, there are advisory committees, the guidelines for schools, colleges and students, teachers, for and parents to promote mental health. Now you see, one thing, uh, earlier when we were in our school, if we got beaten in the school, nobody was there to say, is it that you didn't study, so that is the reason your teacher had punished you. There was nothing. But nowadays, even if you lightly, very lightly slap a child, you can be pulled to the court of law. Why? Because nowadays that absolutely the corporal punishment is banned. Yes? How many of you agree with me that this is a change that is happening? Corporal punishment, you cannot just punish a child. So there's the advisory committee. They have made rules, web pages, web page on MHRD websites, advisory, motivational posters, practical trips, podcasts, FAQs. These are there. Yes, thank you so much. Now, there are toll-free helpline numbers for counseling, telecounseling, voluntary services. 500 counselors confirmed and 100 counselors were mapped in IRBS of the first phase. The counseling resources, national database and dictionary of counselors and counseling services are there, and there are certain resource centers, there are handbooks, guidelines that is going to help you to find the legal part. Now online chats are also there. See, sometimes if you are in trouble, if you cannot confide it to your teacher, if you cannot confide it to your teacher, if you cannot tell it to anybody, there are certain online help that is there. See, online interactive online chat platforms for contact, queries, counseling through interactive apps. Webinars are also there, audio visual there, resources are there, videos are there, posters are there, comics, flyer, podcast. Now, integration with the school curriculum. Now, to address psychological needs, see, we have to here cater to the psychological needs and concerns of the student in an integrated manner as a part of school curriculum processes. So here, it is not that the maths teacher will look into the maths part and the class teacher is going to look after it. But sometimes, we can have a collaborative effect. If we collab together, the maths teacher, if he finds any problem in certain children, what he will do? He will confide it to the class teacher and the maths teacher. Just for an example, if they talk together and sort out a problem, before going to the counselor, the things can be resolved. Yes, somebody, there are so many things online. Yes, definitely. Now, you see, effective policies. What are the effective policies? See, facilitate advocacy, research, and training for effective policy on mental health support and well-being of children and youth of holistic development. See, youth or children, they are teeming with energy. Now, if that energy goes in a negative way, it is better that before it goes to the negative part, we can mold it and we can make use of that energy in a positive way. So, platform for national and regional counseling to create linkage between states, institution, organization for sharing of insight researches, experience, and learning to increase awareness and building community for mental well-being of the student. See, the entire nation, the government, the schools, everyone. Now here, see, there are certain ongoing activities. See, what are the activities that can be performed? How we can do this activity to promote mental health in school? See, the ongoing activities is counseling is the primary one. In school children, it was started. See, it was started long ago, but that professional counseling and the report. See, the counselor has to make a complete filing of how many students she or he has counseled and what is the outcome and what is the result. If any counselor is here, he or she will be able to say yes. If it is like that only, they have to make a chronological record of everything. Yes. Okay, thank you so much. Now, another, sometimes that alternative academic calendar. See, in the beginning, I had showed you one slide where the child had committed suicide because she had the anxiety of not able to give the examination. See, alternative academic means include how to deal with stress, calendar anxiety, that is alternate academics. Some of the subjects, see, if you cannot take up maths, you have a substitute the basic mathematics for that sometimes. And nowadays, that flexibility with NEP 2020, the flexible learning style, the pedagogical flexibility, that is there. Any subject you can choose. And nowadays, what is the new that CBSE had introduced something new in academics regarding the board exam of 10th? Can anybody just tell me what is the new latest version? It would be implemented from 2026. 10th class 10 board examination, some changes are made to take away the stress and anxiety in the children. Can anybody tell me? Yes, 2 board examination. Thank you so much. Okay, now Sahyog. Sahyog is another 2 board exam. Yes, thank you so much. So that is again, one of the things that if you cannot cope with one, you will have a second chance of improvement. The Sahyog live telecast of live interaction session on Sahyog guidance for mental well-being of children by Swam Prabha channel. See, that is also there. You can see to the TV. TVs can also be here. Then guidelines for online learning and cyber safety. See, cyber safety, cyber bullying is also one of the causes of stress. It is a stressor. Children who are playing online games, they become very addictive. They cannot go with that. They cannot think beyond that. So that is also guidelines. The thing is, you need to guide the children for that. Then Nishtha. Nishtha, you see, we all know that Nishtha, the online module for Nishtha program to train teachers on handling mental well-being issues. So those training platforms are there. Those are the guidelines which teaches the teacher how to handle that. Then sometimes, counseling on mental health issues. We have the yoga. I was telling about this as a mindful activities, meditation, dance, art, painting, music in virtual camps. Then motivational talk, 1 hour live talk on community radio. That is there. Another ongoing activities are tele-counseling. What is tele-counseling? Tele-counseling helpline services that continued throughout the lockdown. But after the lockdown, this tele-counseling is already there. There are certain helpline numbers also where you can contact to it. Okay. Now, advisory to parents. What is advisory to parents? See, whenever you are dealing with something, that advisory part, that means parents are also the inevitable part of a child career. So whenever you are finding some problematic issue, what you are going to do is you have to inform the parents. Maybe the issue can be at their end also. So counselors are engaged. See, these are some of the helpline numbers where you can have professional counselors there to sort out your issues. Now, dedicated email IDs have been created in each school for guiding and counseling the student. Teachers have been identified for attending and addressing the problem of the student. Yes, many people do not like to go to the counselor or psychiatrist. Sometimes, people think that if they say that their child is facing some sort of a distress or some type of disorder, what will happen? They don't want to express it. And as a result, what happens? The problem goes on. Even it happens with early childhood, that learning disabilities like that. The parents do not want to talk and they say that their child is stubborn. They just do not want to study. Yes. Now, yes, social taboos, definitely social taboos are there. Now, CBSE counseling, an annual flagship program for free and cost-free post-exam counseling of secondary and senior secondary student. It has started. See, can anybody tell me what is the name of that program where our honorable prime minister talks with the children? Talks with the children before the examinations. That motivation, and even the certificates are also awarded. What is that? What is that counseling program? To ease away the subject stress, to ease away the fear of the board examination. Man ki baat. Okay, man ki baat is okay. And another thing, pariksha pe charcha. Yes. So these are all what? These are, yes, these are counseling in a very different way. Why has Honorable Prime Minister have started all this? To take away the fear, give them mental support, motivation. That's it. Now CBSE helpline, centralized access system and interactive voice response system of toll-free number for counseling for differently abled children. Yes. Social media engagement, see that YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, use of means this. Audio resources, see exam anthems, rap songs, podcasts, they all provide the psychological support. Now, print resources, question answer column, newspapers, handbooks, and these are also there. Okay. Now, another ongoing activities is appeal, advice, and notice. What is appeal? Appeal is a request. Advisory is you advise somebody, and notices are legal notices. Okay. Now, issues regarding mental health, psychological concern, and well-being of everyone on the campus. That is there. Now, see, if somebody is causing mental stress to a particular child, if the child wishes, if the parent wishes, he or she is approachable to the court also. Okay. Now, UGC issues advisory on the 5th of April 2020 to address mental, psychological health and well-being of students during this post-COVID. We are all dealing with post-COVID. Fit India guidelines. As a part of Fit India campaign, UGC has issued guidelines for physical and mental fitness of student faculty. See, Yoga Day is celebrated. Why do we do Yoga Day? Yoga is a continuous, mindful activity where you can get rid of the stresses. That is why it is mandatory. Now, earlier, that games class, the games period was not that much mandatory, but nowadays, games classes are mandatory, whether you are in the girls section, where you are in the boys section, the games class is mandatory, because there should be certain outburst of emotions areas where they can just get refreshed. It suggests a wide range of physical, sports, cycling, walking, yoga, meditation, and other fitness activities. Emphasize on awareness or sensitization workshop on depression, anxiety, and stress management. See, this is something that is taken away, rather eating away our adolescent generation. That depression, anxiety, and stress. So that has to be an highlighted balance. There should be a balance. And what are the other measures that is taken? Is set up helpline for mental health, psychological concern to be regularly monitored by counselors and identified faculty members, regular mentoring of students through interactive via email, telephones, digitals, and social media platform. See, from COVID-19, COVID-19, why I am taking up COVID-19? Because it was something we have never seen it before. And when we resumed, see, for example, presently, those children who are in class 12, okay, too much use of mobile phone, yes, that is there. But you see, nowadays children who is in presently class 12, imagine their time when they were in 6 and 7. They literally never learned anything. Do you agree with me or not? Their English, their grammar, their mathematics, everything went down. To revive them back, to bring back to them in their own academic form, it was very difficult. It was very, very difficult. Sharing a variable part and MOHWF, YouTubes and all that. These are platforms where you can share. Now, ongoing the initiative for redressal of student grievances. These are helpline numbers where student can act, complain, they vent their grievances, online student grievances. These are portals, email. So that was okay. Another faculty counselor, who is the AICTE, has advised all institute to appoint faculty counselors. Faculty training, large number of faculty training programs are conducted. As many as 10,000 faculties are trained who all are effective counselors. See, I said anybody cannot become a counselor. For counseling, you need certain academic qualifications and you need certain training. You should be trained to handle that, because whatever you are doing or whatever you will be doing as a counselor is of a great importance and very sensitive too. The helpline portals, see, AICTE is also conducting trainings for teachers. During pandemic and the lockdown, AICTE created a helpline portal to address the psychological problem. Faculty certification program of 8 modules. In their several elements of relationship between teachers and they are taught are elaborated, which they go along in addressing in the future. And what is the road ahead? What is the destination? See, what is that? See, early identification of the cognitive, emotional, and behavioral change in the student is very, very important. And who is going to identify that this responsibility is again on the shoulders of the facilitators and teachers? And I know you all are best at it. Prevention through positive school, college ethos, curriculum, activities promoting mental health and well-being. Then the specialist support is already there. Access to specialist support. Specialist supports are trained psychiatrists. Okay. Then trainings, the CBPs, capacity building, supportive, the staff integration, mental health components in teachers, in preparation program, enrich program for counselors and short-term online courses. Then common minimum program for schools to promote school mental health well-being. See, school mental health program, the integral part of the school and physical. Teachers, they are training them in the early childhood programs. Then life skill. See, these are so many areas, presently also we are going through. What is life skill? Can anybody tell me what is life skill? Recently, CBSE had conducted, express yourself. That topic was there. They had to write essays on life skill. So what is life skill actually? Can anybody tell me what is life skill? Life skill, critical thinking. Okay, anything else? See, life skill is something you have that you are born with it. The innate competency, the inborn competency skill that makes you different from the other children is your life skill. And everybody has got a life skill. And the thing is, it is the need of the hour is to identify. See, everybody, that innate talent, yes, and everybody has, it is an individual base. Life skill cannot be generalized. If I like pottery or if I like gardening, I don't, it is not common that my friends will be also doing the same thing, right? So focus on the programs of life skills, stress management, substance abuse prevention. See, substance abuse prevention is also very, very important. See, narcotics and all those things, that is also, they are also creeping in the society, they are taking away huge toll. Yes. And regulation. Now, accommodate diversity. See, if somebody is different, we have inclusive classroom, right? But to accept the inclusiveness is also a very important thing. So if you find somebody who is not alike, you should be mentally prepared that you have to accommodate the diversity of students having disabilities, both cognitive and non-cognitive disability. Now, what is cognitive disability? Is the learning part. The child is a slow learner, or a child cannot learn. The child might be suffering from early childhood problem in reading and writing, that way early childhood diseases. These are something like that. Now, positive parenting is also one of the very, very important part. See, focus on positive parenting and effective family. School cannot do everything. Yes. So within the domain of the school, you need to cater to the parent, and sometimes, positive parenting works magical, because after school, it is the parent who is responsible. Then awareness program, definitely that awareness has to be there. Holistic progress card, we all have gone through training. Now, what is holistic progress card? You analyze a child in a very different and unique way. Now, what is holistic progress card? It is a 360 degree analysis of a child, right? Do you agree with me or not? Okay. So when I was talking of holistic progress card, you see that this is one of the newest element as for NEP 2020. So holistic progress card here, if that holistic progress card has got 3 categories. Yes. Now, what are the 3 categories? Can anybody in the chat box please tell me? What are the 3 categories in a holistic progress card? Yes. What are the 3 categories? Academically, it is used, I know, but what are the 3 basic categories? Once in one, it is a you are a beginner. You are in the yes. One is beginner. Another one is a process, and fine, you are an expert. Right. So these are the 3 categories. So that holistic progress card, that since NEP 2020 is child centric. Yes. So when it is child centric, that individualistically catered progress card, that if I am good at a particular topic, my progress card will reflect that, not my simple academic marks. I might be a good athlete, but I may not be that much progressive in mathematics. But my progress card should be reflecting what all it is, and it is everything who I am. Yes, so that is the need for this mental health awareness program. You should be promoting it in the school. And finally,
Thank you, ma'am, for the session.
thank you so much.